I was just on something that I just, and it's like, I'm like, I'm gonna pick up the camera and I'm gonna talk about something particularly that's on my mind right now. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I kind of slipped my mind what I was gonna talk about. Then I started talking about something entirely different. And then the thing I was gonna initially talk about pops into my head, and then I'm like, okay, that's what I was gonna talk about. Again, I'm on this whole, I'm on this catharsis aspect of curative factors. The freedom to express oneself authentically. You know what I'm saying? This to not hold on, because that's a part um, of unrepressing memories or depressing memories, or and thoughts and so forth and so forth. Is that depressing or I don't know? Unrepressing? I don't know what the fuck. What the term? I gotta look that up. But anyway, it's a part of the process of, of getting past those repressed ideas and thoughts and memories that have a negative effect on the overall psychology. So I'm in this catharsis moment where I'm just like, I'm just kind of getting comfortable with letting it all hang out, and it's kind of a mixture of an advice that was given to me by, given in the compound effect, and Darren Hardy's compound effect, and psychology itself in relationship to what it is to be, what the catharsis moments are, and that is the freedom to say what's on your fucking mind, regardless of how it's going to be um, taken, as long as it's authentic. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the catharsis is. It's like this authentic release, not this, venomous. You know what I'm saying? Or victim based or blaming based. Um, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Outburst. There you go. Outburst. And yeah, there are some outbursts in relationship to what it is I'm saying, and there is some fault being placed upon certain actions. It's not name calling. I'm not calling names, though sometimes names might be utilized in the free expression of those particular accusations in relationship to action. Because that's, at the end of the day, is my word against whoever I might be talking about. You know what I'm saying? And that's up to the court of public opinion in this case, or the court of public policy, whichever court you might be in. You know what I'm saying? And how they view the information or the evidence that is being presented. So I'm just presenting my evidence. You know, the scripture. And it's a literary reference. It's not a fucking historical or a religious reference. It's a literal reference because it illustrates the point. It says you should pray on to God as if, like the old woman. You know what I'm saying? Pray on to God like the old woman does to the judge, as if he knows of no man or or no God, but just the law. And that's kind of like, that's the catharsis moment too, where you just present the facts as they are, or at least as you perceive the facts in relationship to memory. How you remember things going down, not necessarily how people say it went down. So, the most objective information, presented. So, this is, guess my moment of kind of eludes me right now. What the fuck? My moment of reflection. There you go. This is my moment of reflection. And while I'm saying these things are crossing my mind that I'm like, wow, should I actually kind of share these things that I'm sharing? the causes for my anxiety, because we always talk about anxiety, and we don't talk about the causes for anxiety, because we want to deal with our anxiety as if it is the root problem. The anxiety is not the root problem. The anxiety stems from a deeper rooted problem that needs to be examined in order to get past the anxiety. Because you've got to realize the circumstances and situations in which you come about and you realize that you're experiencing anxiety. Your anxiety is always related to an actual condition that you run into depending on the duration of time. I mean, like you might run into it frequently. You might not run into it very frequently. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You might run into it randomly, or you know what I'm saying? And I'm using random in that, or scarcely or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily always run into that problem on a regular basis. So the anxiety associated with, or that condition. So the anxiety associated with that condition doesn't always arise. Now, if you take the time to reflect on the moments in which you've had anxiety, then you'll start to realize the roots beyond the anxiety. And that's like a purpose of meditation too, I'm finding. That, and then super learning too. Oh my God, the practical use of super learning in relationship to interpersonal learning is really, as far as therapy is concerned, is phenomenal, because I'm seeing its attributes in my own, experimentation. So it's like when you start to look at the moments in which you experience anxiety the most, because you experience, because there's frequent moments in which you come into contact with in which, like, things like agoraphobia stem from this. That there are so many incidents once you leave the front door that you come across so frequently that cause anxiety that you don't want to deal with them anymore, so you lock yourself up in the house. That's agoraphobia. So you have to look at those things that you most frequently deal with that cause, those conditions that you most frequently deal with that cause you to experience anxiety, and examine what it is in your past that developed the personality, the interpersonal relationships that develop the personality that causes the anxiety within those conditions. And that's where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, okay, I'm sitting back and I'm reflecting upon the conditions in which I experience anxiety the most. And now you can do it with movies and shit. Like, what movies and what parts of movies or TV shows cause me the most anxiety? And and let me start reflecting on why it is this particular circumstance in this movie, or in this, or in this TV show, or whatever medium it might be, causes me a certain, because music can extend to music too, causes me a certain level of anxiety. And then you can meditate on that and start to deal with, where the root causes of that anxiety are, the actual memories, thoughts, or emotions that are associated with that moment that causes you anxiety. Because the anxiety is the panic of having to deal with the emotion, thought, or whatever. So that's me right now, because I think I'm